Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chris Loves Comics. It's Monday. I hope you guys are having a good start to your week. I know I hate Mondays as much as everyone else, so I hope you guys are getting along off to a good start. I always like to start off these videos by thanking each and every one of you for subscribing to me. It really does mean a lot to me. I really do enjoy talking comics with you fine folk. I'm also going to put a link for a few of my friends in the description down below. Really great people. I highly recommend you watch their channels and give them a listen to and give them a subscribe. They're just tell them Chris sent you. But with that out of the way, today I'm going to be starting off by talking about one of my and probably your favorite characters, Batman. Batman, I think, what makes him such a fantastic character is he means different things to different people, and I think that's another reason why people like him. One of the reasons is that a normal guy could, or a normal person could, everyday person could, if they feel like they've been wronged, they could take, they could feel empowered to take justice in their own hands by feeling strong and empowered, and approaching the person who's wronged them. Another great reason is because he has like a bunch of cool gadgets, and the way he fights crime is pretty interesting too. With his gadgets, he also, depending on what story you read for Batman, he always has a sidekick or two. It started off with Robin, Dick Grayson, which I'll be getting into his character in a little bit. But now, as the years have gone by since, because Batman came out in, I believe, 1938, by Bill Finger, and from the evolution from Batman, he's his presence has inspired others to sort of take up the Bat Vigil. You have Batgirl, who is Barbara Gordon, who is the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, who Commissioner Gordon and Batman work together. You also have Cassandra Cain. You also have I don't know the names of a few of the others. You have Spoiler. You also have Batwoman. But there's a large group of Bat family, and they're all very great characters. But today I'm gonna solely talk about Batman because I feel like those will just be more and more videos. But to start off with Batman, his real name is Bruce Wayne, and his story started off when he was a child. Uh, Bruce being a son of privilege to his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, who were very highly respectable billionaires that would help Gotham City through charity and through reaching out through the community. They were pillars of the community. They were rich people, but they wanted to help. But on a night when Bruce's parents wanted to take their son Bruce to see the Mask of Zorro. Zorro is a character that Thomas, Bruce's father, and Bruce both highly respected. And when they come out of the theater, they were accosted by a mugger, the entire family. And when the mugger saw Martha's pearls, he tried to grab them, and as the pearls sort of broke from around her neck, the mugger accidentally shoots Martha, and then with Thomas trying to defend his wife's honor and trying to avenge her, he ends up getting shot too. And in the confusion, Bruce is just, he sees this, and he's just stricken with grief. He's stricken with fear. He's just caught in his place. And when the mugger leaves, Bruce is just, he's destroyed as anyone would, seeing his parents just gunned down in front of him in cold blood. And from the ashes of that story, their butler Alfred Pennyworth decides to take Bruce in, and Alfred, being a worldly man, he was you'll find out in some stories that he was actually a former MI6 agent. He was a former British spy. He was an actor. He was great at subterfuge. He was a highly educated man too, and Alfred took it upon himself because he loved serving the Wayne family. He's their butler, and he loved serving the Wayne family in any capacity. So he took it upon himself to be a surrogate father to Bruce. And Alfred in himself too is such a great character too. If you ever read like any of the Batman books, he is just, in some ways, he's the one that keeps Batman alive through, because he's also a doctor. He's familiar with medicine and, as I mentioned before, like subterfuge, breaking in, and he's just a great combat tactician. And he takes it upon himself to instill all his knowledge onto Bruce, because Bruce, from that moment when he saw his parents getting gunned down, he wanted to make sure that no one would live through that night again, because Gotham is a tough city and bad things happen to good people, and he wanted to take it upon himself to make sure that no one goes through that night again. And by doing that, Bruce traveled around the world, taking his body to the extreme limits of human endurance, like with conditioning, with training his mind in all forms of martial arts, all forms of combat, and that's when he decides to take upon the visage, because he decided that he needed to be a symbol, something that would strike fear into the hearts of people he was trying to, punish. And he took the form of the bat, hence the name Batman. And I think a great reason why people like Batman is because of his one rule. While Batman is a vigilante, he takes criminals in that isn't in accordance to man's law. He makes one rule: he will never kill. And I think that's such an interesting standpoint as human beings. When we get angry, some of us, to the point when, if we were to see, our parents or someone we love getting killed, you would want to, eye for an eye, taken out on them. But Bruce doesn't do that, and I think that's just a fantastic point of the character. One of his many points, really. But that's sort of a small background into the character. But I'm also going to go over my reading list, some recommendations to, if you're new Batman readers, or if you're seasoned Batman readers. I'm going to get started with this. Now, a great standalone story, and there's a contention for the two of these, that which is the best Batman story, but to me, this is my favorite Batman story, and this is Batman Year One. This is a 4-issue miniseries that goes over the origin of Bruce Wayne and his ascension to Batman. This book is beautifully written by Frank Miller, who you may know him from many books, from Sin City, from 300. He's just done a lot of great books. His run of Daredevil is considered bar none the best, and David Mazzucchelli on art. This is a fantastic story, and if you're looking to get into Batman, I would recommend you get into this. This is a great introduction to the character, and this is a great reread. That's why this is my number one. And next up is another book by Frank Miller, is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Now, this is an interesting one. This takes place with Bruce Wayne sort of retired from being Batman. He's in his late 50s. He's an old man. He's just, he's done with the character. But when he sees Gotham sort of fall into decay from this group called the Mutants, Batman decides to take the visage up again, and he has some interesting upgrades to his arsenal. It's a great story. I don't want to give a spoiler, but this book came out in, I believe, 1986 or 1988. It's one of the older books, but there's a great scene in here. There's an upgrade to the Batmobile. I don't want to spoil that for you. And next up, I didn't bring out my entire collection because I have a ton of Batman books, but this is the Prelude to Nightfall. Now, Nightfall is a very inexpensive series. There's 3 omnis, which you can get through your local comic store. But if you're looking for a more cheaper way to go through, the 3 omnis are in trade paperback, and I think the total comes out to be $60, and it's you get I think it's close to 1,500 pages worth of story, so definitely worth it. But this is the Prelude. Now, Nightfall, if you've ever seen The Dark Knight Rises from Christopher Nolan trilogy, this is more of the story with Batman fighting Bane, And I think another reason why people love Batman is the forces that he fights against, the way they challenge each other. Like Joker being his chief villain, Joker just being the complete antithesis to Batman. He's just a psychotic killer who kills for fun and joy, and Batman tries to stop him constantly, but he always has to abide by his rule by not killing. And it's, that's a tough rule for some people. But going back to Bane, now Bane is he's sort of a muscle bound assassin. This gives a good origin to his story too, and Bane decides to take over Gotham City, but in order to do that, he wants to fight Batman. And if you've seen The Dark Knight Rises, you know what happens to Batman. It's an event that sort of changes Bruce's life. He realizes he's not infallible. He realizes that he can be, excuse the pun on words, broken physically and mentally. But this is also a great story. And if you just got into Batman and you're looking for some good standalone stories, Batman Dark Victory and Batman The Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale on art. Also great stories. Now, next up, this next author has 3 Omnis out, but I only collected the Batman and Robin series. It's kind of a long convoluted story towards the end. So with this next author, Grant Morrison, I really enjoy his Batman and Robin run, but as he got towards the Batman Incorporated run, it started to get a little bit messy, in my opinion. And a lot of people, you either like him or you don't like him. For Grant Morrison, I like a lot of his stuff. His All-Star Superman, to me, is probably my favorite Superman story in all of comics. But this is also a great story. This introduces Damian Wayne, who you'll find out is Batman's son, who he didn't realize he had with Talia al Ghul, which they go into great detail about. But this is the Grant Morrison run. This is Batman and Son. Batman Rest in Peace. I really love that Alex Ross cover. And then Frank Quitely on art for the Batman and Robin trilogy. I really love this cover. This is sort of an homage to A Death in the Family, which you find out that the second Robin, Jason Todd, that's how Joker kills in quotations, Jason Todd, but there's Damian Wayne sort of avenging his other Robin. And this next run, this kind of was a reinvigoration of the character, in my opinion. To me, you get probably one of the best and not talked enough villains is the Court of Owls. And this is the beginning of the Batman run from the New 52 by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. These guys were at the top of their game when they came out with this run. This is a very, very great run. And while this next run isn't really a Batman soul character, but if you love DC characters like Batman and Superman, I have to recommend by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. I have them all on hardcover. Batman World's Finest. This story, it's a great. It feels like a great Silver Age story. Like you have Robin, you have Supergirl, you have the Doom Patrol, you have some, and I don't want to ruin it too. You have some references to Kingdom Come in this book, but it's very well done. But whew, that was it. That was it. I feel like this is one of the longest videos I've ever done, but I really wanted to get into more detail on Batman. I think the next deep dive I'm going to do is I'll probably choose either... I may choose Conan the Barbarian because he's another one of my favorite characters, or I may go into the X-Men and Spider-Man. Those are my favorite Marvel characters. But I just wanted to share my love of Batman with you, and this coming week I'll have a haul video for this weekend. I got a lot of good books. Some of the books that I'm looking forward to is The Unfortunate End of Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees. That's a great murder mystery. It's a sort of take on Dexter and Berenstain Bears. It's very interesting. But that's it for this week. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you guys found some great books on Free Comic Book Day of last week I got a lot of great pulls in. I'll bring those up in the next video. But take care, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye for now.